All right, Miss Joyce, we have a couple of questions.
Ah, I love questions.
Okay, so um, I know a lot of people are wondering, they don't want like a quick fix, but
Mm.
if we're talking about kids below teenage years, what's the one thing that you think a parent can do to, or one or two things that a parent can do to improve their relationship with their children who are below the teenage years?
hmm Well, the first thing I would say is carve out some time in your day to spend actual time with that child. I would also say when you are spending time with your child, put everything else away. Put away your phone, put away your busy stuff, put away the plans that you have for the day, and look them in the eye. And most of all, listen more than you talk. Your kids have some great things to tell you, and a lot of the things that they're concerned about will come out in those little conversations. So spending time with a child, that's important. And number two, value them enough to look them right in the eye and spend quality time with them.
Do you think that that's something that should happen after the teenage years start as well?
Yes,
Or do you think there be different advice that you would give for somebody who's a parent of a teen?
there are some things that we need to look at when you're talking about a teenager, because teenagers come with their own special set of problems and hormones, as you know, and so we do have to handle it a little bit differently. But my point is, if you start this kind of a relationship when your child is very young, very small, then your relationship later will be stronger and more respectful, and you will not see some of the behavior problems that you would see if you did not do that. And I know that's a little bit discouraging for some people who didn't start out spending time with their child and caring about what they were thinking and feeling and exchanging ideas. But I want to tell you that there are techniques you can use to build those relationships also, and I will be talking about that in the future. But yes, it's important to develop these things when your child is young. Start when they're real tiny. Have a nice conversation with your infant. It's a great place to start.
What do you think about why it's so difficult um, for for parents of teens? I see this before, and I know you've seen this, where it seems like it's a fairly good relationship with a kid who's below teen, and then suddenly they turn into teenagers, and it's just like they become almost different people, and the parents have a really hard time relating to them. Why is
Sure.
what happens and what can parents do to kind of help that?
I think what we forget is that what we're working on at that point in time is teaching a child to be independent of us. And that's painful for some parents to say, wow, this child someday is going to make their own way and leave the household. And so we just really have a hard time allowing them to go from that safe place where you're kind of the boss, and then allowing them to start making their own decisions and suffer with their own natural consequences. So it's really important for us to get prepared for that time when we have to let go just a little bit and start allowing our kids to make mistakes, to have consequences for the mistakes they make, and then be at home and ready to comfort them when they do make a mistake. It's not helpful if you're judgmental and you say, I told you so. Those are some of the worst words to ever use with any child, but especially with a teenager. It's best if you just say, I'm so happy that you came to me to share this with me because you're important to me and I want to help you and I will always be here no matter what. That's an important message. But kind of giving up that control over your child and allowing them to grow up and make their own decisions, that's a really important part of respecting your child when they get a little bit older.
Do you think children seek respect more as they get older, or do you think they always want respect?
I think from the very beginning we all want respect. One of the reasons that an infant cries is to gain attention and to have you attend to them. So respect, honestly, is just a need for attention. And we see that kids who don't receive attention will oftentimes move into power-based kids. If they don't get the attention that they need with their behavior, then they start to act out. And they also start to try to gain power over their environment. And once a child reaches the power stage, you have to use some different concepts and activities in order to help them to feel powerful over their environment. And what you don't want to do is get to the point where that turns into revenge. Because oftentimes kids, when they don't have enough power and they don't receive attention for their good behaviors, will become revengeful children. And that's a very difficult thing to intervene with. But I can help you with that too.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for those answers.
You bet.
We appreciate it. We'll be asking more later.
Anytime.